self-care is not selfish. It's actually the biggest part of showing love that you could offer to your family, your friends, and your community.
As women, we nurture and take care of the world. And so it's just so important to make your health, your self-care numero uno. So
get around people who are going where you want to go and who are where you want to be. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to be in real estate, so I got around people who were doing things in real estate that I wanted to do.
So you might not be able to move things around or change what happened to you, but if you can change the way that you see it and how you're reacting to it, there's a way.
Just do what you have to do. There's no excuse. This morning, I knew that if I didn't get up at 4 in the morning and clear out my emails and do everything that I needed to do.
You don't want the government to dictate or a judge to dictate how your hard-earned sacrifice and wealth gets distributed to your family and your loved ones.
Our culture is embedded in American culture. There are people who come to America and engage in American culture, which is Black culture. So Juneteenth is really about Black culture, and it's about celebrating us, celebrating the different diasporas of Black people, even the dialects.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lunch and Learn with the Juneteenth NYC. My name is Athenia Rodney. I'm the CEO and founder of Juneteenth NYC. And it has been a couple of days, y'all. It has been. So I missed y'all on last week, but I hope y'all enjoyed last week's conversation. The month of December has been all about Ghana. And next year, literally almost 365 days, we will be going to Ghana. And we hope that you will be joining us on this trip to Ghana next year, 2026. So in preparation for our trip, we wanted to make sure that we are working through some of the things that came up as we started having conversations with us here in the United States and with individuals in Africa. There were some things that were coming up, things about mistrust, things about not really understanding or knowing about our culture truly, about just misinformation. Like there's so many things that continue to come up. And so with Juneteenth, everything that we do is about breaking down barriers and about setting the standard and creating a new status quo and changing the narrative. No one should be able to direct the narrative that is being shared about us but us. We should be the ones doing that. And we should be able to admit when we were wrong, because things change. New information changes our minds and makes us act and respond differently. And so that is what we're hoping to be able to do with these conversations that we've been having over the last couple of weeks. And so this week is like none other. We will be having a conversation about going back to the motherland, because again, that's what we're trying to do. We have an info session that we're doing this Sunday at 7 p.m. So if you're interested, go to our website, juneteenthny.com, to find out more information. But this conversation on today is like going to be the conversation. Just in our preview earlier today, I was learning so much. So I'm looking forward to the conversation on today. This big conversation is about how we bridge the gap between Ghana and the global family and what that looks like. Today, we step into a conversation that's deeply in our community for a number of reasons, whether we've gone and done our own pilgrimage to the motherland, or we've had the desire in our spirit to do so, or we've done some DNA testing and we found that we have ancestral heritage that comes from these areas. I think it was 35% from Ghana and another 36% from Nigeria. So I'm pretty sure that I have a lot of African roots because of that. So a lot of us have questions when it comes to that, and we want to do this journey and we want to return home. I want to take off my shoes. I want to touch Mother Earth. I want to say hello. I want to hear welcome home. I want to hear all of that. Connecting with heritage and finding our place with the global Ghanaian diaspora. This isn't just about travel. Like, I want that to be very clear. We are going to do this trip, but it is not just about being able to say that I went. I want this to be something that is life changing for all of us, including myself, my children, my husband, all of us who are going. It's about belonging, about saying and being able to say, this is home. It's about purpose, about identifying and reconnecting to our purpose and why what happened, because everything happens for a reason. Nothing happens by happen chance. And it's about redesigning. Guiding us through this transformational dialogue is a leader whose work has become essential for Ghanaians at home and abroad. Diaspora Affairs GH, represented today by the dynamic and insightful Sarah Hudson. Diaspora Affairs GH was legally registered and founded in 2022 by Ghanaian visionary, and I'm going to try my best to say his whole name. So it's Joseph Kwame Ochure Darkum Bekwe. I hope I got it correct. With a mission to support, guide, and empower members of the Ghanaian diaspora, they are in the world. Their organization understands the unique challenges, goals, and opportunities faced by Ghanaians abroad and those looking to go back home and reconnect, to reinvest, or to relocate to the motherland. And absolutely, a lot of people, especially with everything that's going on here in the United States, have been looking at, how do I find ways to get out of Dodge, right? At least for these next 4, hopefully only 4 years, right? With their headquarters in Ghana and an international administrative office based in the United States, Diaspora Affairs GH stands as a global connector. That's what they do. Like, this is what they built their business on. So we're really excited to have them here and to be able to have a conversation with them. And they're going to do a presentation today talking about cultural insight, strategic direction, and dedicated support for individuals and families navigating the commute, and wanted to go back to Ghana. So if I can have Sarah join me on stage. Welcome, Sarah. How are you doing?
Hi, Athenia. I'm doing well. How are you too?
I am good. Now, did I get Joseph's name correct? Did I say it good?
You did. You did.
We were practicing, so thank you so much for giving
You're
me the
welcome.
phonetics and trying to this is new, our tongues are now formulated to do some of these languages.
I
Or
know.
let me take that back. Our tongues are always formulated to do that. We have just not trained it properly to do so. And so my goal is to train it so that we are able to be able to speak our native tongue. So thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to be collaborating and partnering with you on this endeavor and being able to come out to Ghana next year. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about Diaspora Affairs.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Sarah Hudson, and I am with Diaspora Affairs GH as the administrator. And our organization has been around for some time. We basically do provide in-country assistance for the global diaspora. I think we have to correct that right up again. It's not only for the Ghanaian diaspora, it's for the global diaspora. So we provide every form of in-country assistance that they might need. We do advocacy for them, and then we also help them curate their tours, visa on arrival, a whole lot. So basically, every form of assistance that the diaspora needs, we position ourselves to provide that. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I think that is so needed because if I was going to move to Ghana, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, where do I start? How does that even so where do I start with that? So I know you're going to do a presentation. So I'm going to pass the mic over to you, and then I'm going to come back because I have a whole host of questions, and I'm sure the community will have some questions as well. So feel free to
Exactly.
drop your questions in the chat if you have some, and we'll come back and try to answer them at towards the end if there is some time. So let me presentation. As we're waiting for James to pull up the presentation, he got disconnected. But in the interim, I guess, can you share a little bit about, okay, there we go. No, sir. Is that the first slide? Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
that's the first slide. Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
so I'll pass it to you, Sarah. Go ahead.
Okay, so thank you so much, Athenia, once again. This afternoon, we are coming to speak about finding home again. And then we have the power of heritage travel and cultural reconnection. So we speak about home. Home is not where we return to from work. Home is not where we relax, where we take our shower, we find something to eat, we bond with friends, then get prepared for the next day's job. I don't think that is home. Home is somewhere you have fulfillment. Home is where you have satisfaction. Is where you have your identity changed and then you know who you truly are. So I come to speak about home and then how you can find home again. So that's why the home you are in now with your family, your friends, and loved ones, there is another home that is more therapeutic and that is more satisfying. So we are coming to speak about home. And I'll start by saying that many of us here have built our amazing lives here in the US. We've built our careers, we've raised our families, we've built communities and everything. But there lives this feeling that is missing in our hearts. We have this connection to our homeland that all of us know about. We finally want to fully experience it and know. There is an old saying in Ghana here that says that a tree needs a very strong root to grow tall. We are the branches of that tree, but our roots are back in Ghana, and we can testify to that. Sometimes you feel that you want to experience all these people are saying about the castle, the experience they've had about the slave dungeons, the experience they have about the last bath and everything. So you have that pull from time to time to go back to your root to see where your ancestors were, stand on the grounds they stood on, breathe the air they breathe, be in that in those closed walls that they experienced when they had that slave experience. So that's about it. If you are here and you are having that feeling, you are having that longing, you are not lost. And it is not any form of weakness. It is a call to know your identity and find where you truly belong. So that is what this discussion is about. We are coming to speak honestly about answering that call or discuss what it really means to reconnect. It's not just a tour, it's also an opportunity for a son or a daughter to come back home and then come into the arms of where your ancestors were and how they lived their lives, how they sacrificed for you just so that you can have your identity back. So let's begin. So this is the shared story we are speaking about. It is between two worlds. It's about talking about that void that I am saying, having that curiosity, having that edge to go back to your calling, go back to your place where your ancestors were. It's not just being curious, but it also comes with this knowing, this longing that is what will transform you. It will give you that historical narrative that have been passed on from generation to generation. And then there is this inherited memory of separation. You came to meet your father, tell you that your roots are in Africa. You passed on that same information to your children. Your roots are in Africa. And I believe by now our children are asking that same question. Where is home truly? How do we navigate this cultural duality that we find ourselves in every morning? So we move to our next slide. slide 3 is speaking about the slide 3 is speaking about what heritage travel is about. So we are coming to experience it and then explain it to us all to understand. It goes beyond tourism. It goes beyond just going on a sightseeing, making memories, taking pictures, and all that. It goes beyond that. It is not just a vacation, it's a pilgrimage. It is seeking insights, knowing the true story, knowing the exact thing that happened. It's about connecting with your lineage. It's about understanding historical context, engaging in cultural practices, and also building living relationships. We believe that finally, when you have the opportunity to visit Ghana, you would go to the locals there, bond with the indigenes, ask of their names, how their lives have been, how has life been treating them, what are their occupations, what have they been doing to keep them alive, to keep the family moving, and all that. So by doing that, you are building living relationships. So just imagine this, standing where your ancestors stood, like I said, just not as a spectator, but you are imagining with understanding why the land looks the way it looks. Maybe it's because of the torture they went through, how our food tastes, sharing your smile with the locals, and also how heritage travel becomes that identity change you've been looking for. So, and the broken circle in your life, and you will also find a visitor in the place, whereas you also find yourself as being part. You are visiting, but also you are sharing in the identity, and you are sharing in a story. By so doing, you are creating your own story as well. So we move to slide 4. We speak about the path to wholeness. So this whole issue about finding home again, and the heritage tour you are speaking about, it comes with a holistic impact. It impacts on your mind, it impacts in your heart, and impacts in your spirit as well. So the first pillar we speak about here is the historical pilgrimage. You have the opportunity to visit significant sites like the Cape Coast Castle. You have the opportunity to visit the Elmina Castle. You have the opportunity to visit the Asimanso Slave River where they had their last bath. So that was the last time. The last time they took their bath was the last time ever they had at that river. You have the opportunity to go there and just imagine how that will be healing and that will be therapeutic to you. You would have guided narrative of relief but not pain. You would be guided with tour agents and tour guides that are well trained, that are well versed in the topic of the entire experience you are talking about. So you have guided narrative regarding the entire experience that our forefathers had. And then you would have context that transforms trauma into tribute. I believe that you will try to be emotional when you finally have the opportunity to visit, because you try to be empathetic about the whole situation. You put yourself in their shoes to know how they felt, and that might spark up some form of trauma in you. But by the time you are done, that will turn into a tribute to give a beautiful narrative of the entire experience that our forefathers went through. We speak about the pillar 2, that is the cultural immersion. You have the opportunity to live in communities, not just hotels. So finally, again, when you come, you not just reside in a hotel. You come out to meet the people, like I said earlier. You live in their communities, bond with them, talk to them. They will share their culture, they will share their everyday life, everything about food, everything about drumming and dancing, our festivals and everything. By so doing, you bond. By so doing, you find yourself part of the story, and then you have that identity and that heritage impact that we are looking for. You have the opportunity to learn the language, our ceremonies, our crafts, our cuisine, everything, like I have already mentioned. And then we come to the village experience. You'll find your clan. You'll come to where we would have the naming ceremony. We have the our community leaders around who speak to them based on the day you were born. It would give you a beautiful naming ceremony. If you are born on a Monday and you're a woman, you'll be called Ajua. If you are born on a Monday and you are a man, you'll be called Kojo. If you are born on a Tuesday, Abna or Kwabina. If you are born on a Wednesday, we have a Quia or Kweku. You would have a beautiful naming ceremony to change your name into your day of birth, and then you will be told the effects and the impact it would have on you as an individual. And then the pillar three speaks about the contemporary engagement. You see Ghana today, you would compare the experience you've been told in the past to the Ghana you are seeing presently. So you would have innovation, you have opportunity to see our arts, you have our businesses, opportunities that are available. So just in case you want to start a business, you want to buy a property, you want to start agriculture or a farm or anything, when you go to the locals, they would give you information regarding all that because they are the real custodians of the land, and they'll give you direction as to what you want to do and how you would get that done. And by so doing, you identify your place in Ghana's future because you are investing, and by the time you are investing, the returns will come to you, and you are putting yourself, you are strategically positioning yourself into Ghana's future. So that is how we connect, and then that is how the whole journey of heritage is going to come about. So we move to slide 5, the transformative power. So what changes that does this bring to you? You come to Ghana, you come and see the place, you come and experience what your ancestors experienced. What does it do to you? Does it change anything? Yes, it does. It has some form of effect on you. It has first, we don't want to speak about your identity. Your identity will change. I believe that after you have come and experienced it, you won't call yourself an African American, or you won't call yourself a British Ghanaian. You'll call yourself a Ghanaian because that's simply what you are. You found your roots. You found how you are connected to your forefathers. You find how their lives are connected to, and you understand how the toil and the suffering they went through was for your own good, so that you would have that identity. So a holistic transformation will happen to you, and that your identity will change. You would also have the opportunity to explain to your family, to be a gift to your children, and then you would give them an unshakable foundation. Because I believe, like I said, by now they are asking questions. They say we are from Africa and our roots are from Africa. Where do we come from? What is it about? How is the experience like? So you would have something to share with them. You would have a first-hand experience to explain to your children that this is what it's about. This is what our ancestors went through. This is the suffering they went through. But in the end, it turned about to be strength. It turned about to be resilience, so that we can find our feet and find our identity as Black people. So that's it with um for the family. And then for your holistic well-being, you have this psychological healing of closing a historical loop. You have that void that is being created. All the questions you have will be answered. That loop that has been created, that belonging that you feel, that edge that you keep having, will be sealed. It will be fulfilled. And then finally you would know that you have really fulfilled that desire that you've been having. So you see all life challenges coming from a different perspective altogether. You see problems, you see challenges, you see trials from a different perspective, because you've been told a story of a people that prevailed, of a people that mastered courage, of a people that put down their life just so that we would also have some form of identity to put on ourselves. So you see life challenges from a different perspective altogether. You will return changed, and changed is not just a cliche. It is clinical, it is healing, it is therapeutic. You would have that weight that lifts, and then you have that pride on you. You say, I went looking for a castle, but I found a crown. You say you are going to see a castle, you are going to see the Elmina Castle, the Cape Coast Castle, but you see a crown. You see how you've been crowned with strength, how you've been crowned with courage, how you've been crowned with resilience to go about your life challenges just as our forefathers did. So it's going to be a holistic experience to you, that this journey doesn't just add stamps to your passport, it adds foundation to your soul. So that's what it does to you. And then we come to slide 6, your practical bridge. This is how our NGO comes in. We facilitate this journey. This is what we stand for. This is what we've been doing all the while we've existed. And then we'll help you. We will, from your visa to your airport pickup, to where you will sleep, to the transportation that will take you from your hotel to the place you will be going, internal transportation, your food, everything will be taken care of by our organization. So we'll facilitate your visa on arrival for you. Regarding the number of days you want to spend, you provide documentations and everything, and then that is what we will do for you. And then we also curate heritage tours. We co-create based on the longing you are having, based on the exact experience you want to get. We are going to tailor our trip. We are going to tailor everything we do regarding your needs and what you are looking for. Maybe it's a genealogy search, maybe it's a spiritual retreat, maybe it's a family road trip. Anything you want to undertake, our organization will be ready to do that. We also undertake advocacy. So just in case you come and then you feel that there is something you want us to take up as an organization that are into advocacy, we'll do just that. The information you get, you think that if we take up this as an advocacy mission, it will help the entire diaspora as a whole. Our organization also positions ourselves to do that for you. And then we also provide trip integration support. After you have come, maybe you noticed an opportunity to invest, you want to volunteer to help a local, or you want to volunteer to support someone you found on the land that you feel is in need and you want to help them. Organization will help to facilitate that one. You also want a more frequent return based on what you have seen. You feel that if you come again and again and again and again, that will be good to you, will also help you on that. And that's all we do. We are here, we are your partners, and then we'll be working with you. Mission comes alive. This is what we stand for. We understand the emotional and the practical hurdles that this may come up, or this may bring. So our role here is to be your trusted bridge from the moment you decide to go, where to simplify the visa process. We do that for you. The moment you step into the soil, we guide you to understand what the sightseeing tour is about, the long-term support after you've come and you've returned. So this is what we do, and then we are saying that we are your trusted vendors for your tour. So we go on to slide 7. Slide 7 speaks about the journey designed for you. What does homecoming really look like? So after you've decided to come and you finally landed here, what does it look like? Maybe it might be a solo quest. It's a solo trip you want to take. You would have that personal healing. You individualize the effects. You know that you came there and then you saw it for yourself. Nobody told you. Nobody handed down the information to you, where you would have the story being changed or some of the lines being changed. You experienced it yourself. You personalize the feeling and know that this is what you went to see. This is what the actual story look like. If it is a family legacy trip you want to anchor your children's identity, we help plan age appropriate and impactful activities as well. So if you are coming with your families, the family is not left out. That one too will be well catered for. And then we also have the reconnaissance trip. Maybe you are gathering information for a business, or for a property, or for something you want, or for an investment. You want to do a feasibility studies. We have a trip also that will cater for that one. So all those exploring businesses, retirement, or regular connections, Diaspora Affairs GH is here to get that done. And then there's also the skill based journey, connecting your professional expertise with community needs. Like I said in our earlier slides, maybe you have been in the community and then you see that there is a particular need. You join your expertise, you join your professional insights you have gathered, and then you help someone in the community or a local to take them out from a position that is not desirable to a place that will make them happy. After all, we are all one family, we are all black people, and then we are supposed to live and then help support each other. So that's it for slide 7. Then we move on to slide 8. Slide 8 comes with real stories, real transformation. This is what some of the people that came along testified finally when they came to Ghana. These are testimonials of some of our global diaspora family. And then one person said, I wore my grandmother's name, Abina, my whole life without knowing what it meant. And then the grandmother was in Kumasi during my naming ceremony. Like I said in the earlier slide, you would have a naming ceremony for you to give you the name based on the day you were born. And then this client is saying that during their naming ceremony, the elder explained, I was born a Tuesday, a child of the river. He told me my responsibility. I didn't just learn a meaning, I inherited a purpose. I came home So by knowing your name, you'll be told what it means. You'll be told the positive impact it will have on you. You'll be told the responsibility that is required of you if you have such a name, and then it will to move on to better your life. So we can, since we have the slides, we can go on to read testimonial 2, testimonial 3, and all that. So I'll skip that. I'll skip the testimonies, and then we'll go to slide 9. Let's talk about some common fears that might come up. You are coming to a place you've not been before. You've heard so much about it. You've had a lot of experiences regarding it, but you don't really know what it is and then how the thing really is. So you are likely to experience some form of fears. So the common fear you will experience it will be too emotionally overwhelming. And this is our approach as experts in the business. We are giving you expert guys trained in trauma informed narrative. Pace and processing are prioritized. So the tour guides will be having are well trained. They know how to pass on trauma informed narratives. They know how to say it in a manner that it will help you to manage whatever pain, whatever anxiety, whatever discomfort you be feeling at the time, because you might try to empathize, like I said in the beginning. So you might be going through that trauma during the time you visit the sites, but our expert guide will put it out in such a way that you would deal with all those emotional situations you'll be facing. And then another fear you might entertain will be that I won't be accepted or will feel like an outsider. And this is our approach. We pre-arrange genuine community integration. You are introduced as family returning, not foreigners visiting. So all the while you'll be there, your tour guide will be with you, and then they would be with the community member, just in case you want to visit a community. They would go there and then tell them that these are people that have found belonging. Sorry, these are people that have found their identity. They have found themselves part of us, and we are all one family. So the people are not going to treat you as outsiders, or they are not going to treat you as people that are coming from a different world. Based on the information the guide will give them, they will treat you as one of them. They will see you as part of them. You'll sit together, we'll eat, we'll chat, we'll tell stories, we'll say all what our lives have been about, and then you find yourself being one with us. And then another fear we might entertain it will be logistically too difficult. And this is our approach. This is our expertise, from visa coordination, like I said, to in-country transport, vetted accommodation, 24/7 support. Diaspora Affairs GH will do that for you. So these fears are valid and they are common. We are not dispelling them, but we are saying that whatever the fears may be, we've positioned ourselves, we have trained people and experts to dispel them, and then to make sure that you are not alone, not be unprepared. You will be held emotionally and logistically through every step. Your vulnerability is met with our competence and our compassion. So that's how we'll address the fear you might be having. So slide 10, our last but one slide, it speaks about the Sankofa principle. The Sankofa is a principle here in Ghana. It means Sankofa, go back for it, go back and take it, or go back and fetch it. This is what it's about. You have left the shores of Africa. Sorry, our ancestors left the shores of Africa, and then for one reason or the other, we found ourselves at a different place. And so this adage is saying that there is nothing wrong with going back to where you belong. There is nothing wrong with going back to your roots. Go and fetch the information, go and fetch the experience, go back to fetch what your roots are all about, so that you would have that healing and that therapy that you'll be looking for. So that's what the Sankofa symbol is talking about, and that's it. So we experience you to come back, teach us. The Sankofa bed teaches us that it's not wrong to go back for what you have forgotten, your history, your culture, your sense of wholeness and waiting. It is not wrong to go back for it. And then you don't have to plan this alone. We are here to have a conversation with you. We are here to know how this can be done, what you need. So that's about it. Thank you so much. We end by saying that Ghana is calling, your ancestors are calling, they are ready for you, the places are prepared for you. Yeah, the picture we are seeing here is the Asin Slave River, the land of yeah, this is the Asin Slave River, the last bath. So this is where they took our ancestors took their last bath, and then they came to where the slave masters took them. So thank you very much for this presentation, and I hope you have learned a lot from it. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sarah, for the presentation. Definitely a lot that I took away. I have a series of questions, and feel free, those who are watching, to be able to share your questions as well. But you talked about this being like going back to Ghana has been like a pilgrimage. Um, and whenever I think of pilgrimage, I think of the Jews, and like the Jews, they have this pilgrimage where they're like, we have to go back. We have to, like, that's one of their like must do's in life. Right. And it's like, for me, I feel like that's something in the African American community that is starting to become a must do. Like, I have to go back. And so I wanted to know just even about the organization. Can you share what was happening, or what were you all seeing on your end that the organization was needed? Why did you what was the purpose of why you got started?
So we started this because, like I say, I keep saying, we believe that a lot of the global diaspora are not having enough support. Everything they want to achieve or everything they want to know is coming from a place where they have not been before. Where they have not been before.
Yeah.
And then they don't know what it entails. They don't know what to expect. They don't know how to navigate their life when they come here in Ghana. So we position ourselves just to offer support. And like we said in our maiden meeting with you, we are a non-governmental organization. We don't really charge for most of the things we do, but for the
Mm.
service and fees that needs to get the organization running, our activities are done, and then we are done just to support the global diaspora. So
Yeah.
we provide support just in case they come into the country, they are having difficulties and navigating their way, where to find this, who do I go to for this, who helps me in this, how am I sure that I will not be exploited. We
Mhm.
position ourselves just to provide in-country assistance to the diaspora. So that's all it is, and that's what we are doing.
Got it. So I do have a couple more questions. So you talked about the last bath, and what came up for me was also about documentation. And I know that these were a couple of hundred years ago, but what kind of documentation, or do you have documentation available there that people can kind of look up to see what the names of individuals who were sent over? Is there a space where things like that are held, or where research like that can happen?
Yeah, I think there is. I think there is. When we go to our universities, like the University of Ghana, then we go to
Mhm.
the historical departments. I think there are documentations to that effect, because there were times that the information that are being passed on are being altered. We are not getting the true picture of what the initial stories were. So there are
Yeah.
documentations in our university libraries and the public library. So we just have to contact the librarians, and then we'll see if it will be made available for us.
Yeah. So I always share this story, and I'll share it with you. So one of the reasons why, um, I guess this kind of went and came into my spirit to do this travel right to Ghana. I went to Puerto Rico, and I did, one of their excursions like they typically have. And I think we had missed the excursion, and they were like, "Well, you already paid. Do you want to do something else that's on the ground?" And it was like, "We have a tour around the land." I was like, "Sure, we'll do the tour while we wait for our excursion to come back." And so they took us to this huge land. They have all of these little huts and houses all over the place. And where, I'm like, this is big land. Like, how did y'all manage this land? And they were like, "Oh, we had people to do that." And I was like, "Okay, like what kind of people? Like people that like me? Like, were these black people?" And they was like, "Oh, well, we're not at liberty to discuss that." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" So later she pulled me to the side and she basically shared that they were getting undocumented slaves that were being brought to them, and that they were not, they weren't going through the proper channels that were typically done during that time. So these individuals who were tilling it, and this land is huge. It was maybe 25, 30 acres of land. And
Mm,
they were like, yeah, there were at least 15,000 enslaved Africans who were tilling this land. And I'm like, there are 15,000 plus people who were here in Puerto Rico that have gone nameless, and whose stories would not be told. And so it just made me realize that we need to go deeper. I was speaking to someone the other day, and she talked about how she does real estate, and with real estate she's like, the higher you go up, the deeper you have to go in order to stabilize the building. And that was like a light for
yeah,
me, because it was like, we need to
yeah,
go deeper into understanding who we are and understanding more about our story in order for us to soar, to really be able to understand what our purpose is in this world. And so I really appreciate having an organization like yours, the Diaspora Affairs, to be able to, because like I started off saying, like the biggest thing that people share with us with going to Ghana, going away, is like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to expect. I'm scared. Are they going to take advantage of me? Are they going to, try to rob us, take our money? And what's funny is the people, anyone who've ever I've seen go, has said nothing but they welcomed me with open arms. They said, I think you said something like, your family returning, not visitors returning. And I'm like, that to me is so, like, that's the feeling that I want to experience. Um, so I did have another question, because I know the holidays are coming up, and we're actually going to be coming right after Christmas, but we'll be there for the New Year's. Can you share like what happens during December in Ghana?
um excuse me, hold on please.
Sure. Uh-oh, I'm going in
Okay,
and
can
out.
you take the question again?
Yeah, I was saying, so we'll be coming
Sorry,
next year.
sorry, please take the question again. I had a
Can you
distraction.
can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Yeah, I
Sarah?
can.
Okay, got it. So I
Yeah,
was
I can hear you.
asking,
I can hear you.
I think it's a delay. So I was asking, we're going to be coming to Ghana next year during the Christmas New Year season. Can you share what it looks like, what it feels like what's the experience during that time, as we're about to go into that season right now?
Okay, so it means exactly close to a year around this time that you'll be coming.
Yeah.
So people would have celebrated Christmas and then they are looking forward to the new year. Can you
Yeah, what do
confirm
you
your
do
date
for New
again?
Year? Yeah, so what are you doing? What's happening? What kind of activities should people expect? Because I've heard that this is like a great time to go. So what is typically happening during this time frame?
Yeah, so during this time, it is mainly about celebrations because the year has come to an end, and then people are celebrating their success to at least see the end of the year. So people are celebrating, people are in a happy mood. Everywhere is you find a lot of social activities taking place, and you find a lot of businesses moving on because everybody is coming from their homes to town to have a good time, to chill, to have a fun time. So it's basically a fun moment for Ghana around this time. And then when the year comes to an end and then it begins, people get very reflective. Immediately the year begins, the same joy that we had from the last year is being carried on to the early days of the next year. So people continue with their fun activities, enjoying the new year, being grateful for seeing another year. And then when the year getting into maybe the mid part of it, people get very reflective, people get very relaxed because they seem to be planning to know how their year is going to be, what they'll be doing, what
Mhm.
they'll be achieving, setting their goals. So generally, getting to like from the the 5th till about to the 10th or to the 15th is generally a laid back time for most Ghanaians. But from the ending of December, maybe like the from the 25th to 30th to
Hmm.
first, second, third, fourth, they are in the jubilating season. Everybody is having
Oh, I
fun,
see.
and it's a beautiful time to visit Ghana because you're coming to meet the fun part of whatever we stand for. So that's
I
what to
love that.
expect.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I mean, that's typically what's happening here too. But I mean, I imagine it just being in that space. I know when I went to Spelman College and Morehouse for homecoming, it was like just seeing all of my people of color all in one space and everyone just coming together and like hugging and just being in that happy space. I imagine that it will look and feel a lot like that as well. You were there was a question that I had and it just totally escaped me. Oh, so you sh- we're talking about visas. What are the biggest challenges that individuals might have with being able to get a visa? And what's the longest people can stay in Ghana with a visa or without a visa, should I say?
Okay, so we facilitate visa on arrival services. So the highest expectation now is for you to send in your documents as early as possible so that the process can begin, especially if the number is huge. Send in all the documents that are required, which we can share with you when you ask for. And then the longest time you can stay with a visa on arrival is 30 days.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So 30 days is the longest you can stay without a visa in the country.
yeah.
So once
With
you
a visa on
acquire,
arrival. With a
okay,
visa on arrival.
okay, with a visa on arrival, the longest you can stay is 30 days. So I've
Yeah.
heard of people staying
Yeah, let me
longer
confirm
time.
that. Yeah,
So
30
what do
days.
people need to do in order to stay longer than 30 days?
Say that again.
I said I've heard of people staying for like 6 months or more. What do people need to do in order to stay in Ghana longer?
So after 30 days, you have to go back to or you go back to your host and then you get it renewed if it lapses.
Mm-hmm. Got
Yeah,
it.
so from there
Okay.
the process continues. Yeah. So
So
there
you
might be
do you have
extension
to
to
do it
that
every
effect.
30 days?
Yeah. So there might be an extension to that effect based on the reason for visiting. But for the first 30 days, your visa on arrival can take you. After the 30 days elapses, you can extend for another 30 days. And then
Mhm.
if you want more, then you get into the actual process.
Got it. So now I know you said what Monday and Tuesday's name was, right? That was a question. So I was saying this earlier. So I was born on a Friday and I'm a female. So what would my name be or be
So
given
a Friday born is called a FIA.
Afia? So it'll be Athenia Afia
AFIA.
Rodney, right?
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
And so now my daughter was also born on a Friday. So her name would be Afia as well.
Yeah, she will be a FIA as well. Every female born on a Friday is a FIA.
Okay. And these are names that are put on their birth certificates when they're born. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Interesting. Okay. And then
Yeah, it's
how
based on the family's request. Some want it on their birth. Some want it on their birth certificate. Some don't. Personally, I am a Saturday born, but I don't have AMA on my birth certificate.
okay. So
Yeah,
when
so if
when
the
is it
family
typically
requests for
known?
it, it will be done. But if the parents are okay without it,
Got it. So when is that name typically used? Is it used since a lot of people will ideally have that name? When is it mostly used? Like is it something that would be used in school, like people who are born on Saturdays, they have to go to school on certain days, or they meet in certain places. Like what is the name used for?
I think that there's something about these names that radiate some form of connection. So I would
Mm,
rather want to call you by your name or your local name when I know your date of birth. Maybe now I know you as Athenia Rodney, but now that I know you as a fear, if we are communicating again, I would want to mention a fear. So maybe in school you can be called a fear, and it brings about that spirit of bonding, that spirit of oneness and friendship and fellowship. So if you see somebody calling them by their first names, it tells you how close they are to each other, how bonded they are, the level of their friendship, and the level of the cordiality. So personally, we prefer to use those names, even if it's not on your birth certificate. I would prefer to call you by your middle name if I know your day of birth. And when I know, you don't need to tell me that's your name. If I know that you are born on a Monday, then I go, hey Ajua, how are you doing? How is work? How is school? And all that. So we tend to connect more with those names, even better than your first names and all the other names you might have.
Interesting. That's very interesting. So, and how many names does one typically have? Because, like, I know I was reading Joseph named the founder, and he had a number of different names. So, how many names? And is it different for females and males? Because I know, like, in the Hispanic community, females take their mother's maiden name and they add to it so that that maiden name doesn't get lost when they get married. So, are there certain cultural rituals that are similar?
I think that yes, it is. Here in Ghana, when you are born, based on your tribe or based on where you are born, I come from the Greater Accra region. So our lineage is patrilineal. So when I'm born, I will take my father's name. My father
Hmm.
is Ado. My maiden name is Ado, Addo. But I'm married and my husband's name is Hudson. So that's why I'm using my husband's name now. But when I'm
Hmm.
born, I'll take my father's name, my first name plus my father's name. But some
Hmm.
people like giving names after their relatives, after their loved ones, or after people that have lived admirable lives or they've achieved something. So I am Sarah. Now I'm Sarah Hudson. My mother can choose to give me my grandmother's name based on the life she led, based on how supportive she was, based on something desirable she did that she thinks that it might impact on me when she gives me that name. So
Hmm.
added to the name I have, my first name, my middle name, my father's name, I would have an additional name of someone who have lived a good life or has done something worth emulating. So that's how
Hmm.
come you see people having a lot of names. But you would have your first name, you would have your middle name. Basically, you have people having their first name, their middle names, their surnames, and then maybe you have additional names of others that have lived a good life that it is worth emulating. So that's how come you see all those plenty names.
Some names. I like that. And it's funny, well, should I say, how apropos that that is something that happens here in the United States as well. A lot of people, when they're born, they'll give them the name of a an admirable family member or someone that they want their child to kind of live up towards. So to know that that is something that really came from our roots. It came from, it was an ancestral tradition that has been mentally ingrained in us, and people don't even know that, right? So I think a lot of those kind of things of being able to go back to Ghana and in Touchland and to just hear all of the stories will help us to identify with how much we do here in the United States
Network.
that is really from the motherland. Well, we are coming to time. So thank you, Sarah. This was an amazing conversation. It was so much that you shared about just the trip and being able
You're
to go to
welcome.
Ghana and why it's important. Not just as a visitor or as a tourist, but to really connect to the roots and understand a lot of the story behind the story, excuse me, the stories that we've heard here. Again, as like Juneteenth, we talk about being able to change the narrative, and this is going to be a game changer with changing the narrative and being able to come back to America and to help others to ground themselves as well. So I look forward to this trip. I look forward to our partnership. And I know we will, while we're there, we'll have you all a part of our panel discussion that we'll be having there. And we look forward to that as well. And just being able to support us with helping people to get their visas and all their paperwork as they come through. So we are very thankful and grateful for our partnership and look forward to what this looks like in the new year.
You're welcome.
So I'm sure we probably won't see each other before the new year. So I want to say happy holidays and a happy New Year's to you and your family and to all of the Diaspora Affairs group. So thank you again for your time. And team, everyone, I thank you for joining us. This was really great.
Thank you for having us.
You are very welcome. And so I'm going to put you backstage. I'll come and join you shortly while I close this out. So thank you so much, everyone. I hope you gained a lot from this conversation. I know I am always walking away feeling like renewed, like there's new information that I didn't know that is going to help me to be a better person. And I hope that this information definitely did. And I know that this trip, I am so looking forward to it. 2025 has been such a challenging year, but God, that is what I've been saying. Last night, my husband and I were talking and we were like, so many things have come our way, so many issues, deaths, water main breaks, fires, like so many things have been happening in our spaces. But God, like it could have been a lot worse, but God, he made a way for us to come out on the other side. So I'm looking forward to 2026 and all of the things that 2026 has for us, for our families, for our health, for our relationship with God and being able to grow it closer and to be closer with him. And just to be able to understand a little bit more about myself, about my culture, and to be able to pour that into my children so that they can grow up with a better understanding of who they are so that they can go deeper in their roots and be better. So thank you all again for joining. On this Sunday at 7 p.m., we will have an info session about our Ghana trip. We'll be talking about a lot of the things that Sarah mentioned, all of the places that we're looking to attend, where we'll be staying, like all of those things. The volunteer work that we'll be doing, we're going to be doing an event where we're going to be bringing business owners together so that we can be in community with one another, having conversations about purchasing land, investing in land out there. So it is going to be a great conversation. We hope you'll join us. My name again, Athenia Rodney, CEO and founder of Juneteenth NYC. It was a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you in next week. Have a blessed one, and happy holidays, everyone.
From the roots of tradition to the rise of reconnection, where history meets the heart of Africa. Celebrate freedom, culture, and homecoming. This isn't just a trip, it's a return. The motherland is calling. Will you answer?